Hi there, welcome to Cooking Cookies with Tanya. I'm your host, Tanya. In an odd YouTube video, I am going to be showing you how to make my cookies, which I think I will call the most dank-ass chocolate chip cookies in the world. It's true, if you're lucky enough to know me in real life, A, you're lucky, B, you know that I make the best damn chocolate chip cookies in the world. So, without further ado, I am going to share that with you, lucky. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you what you need. And now I will give basic measurements, but keep in mind you really need to watch the whole video because it's like the tips and tricks along the way that I'm going to show you that are going to make them the best chocolate chip cookies in the world and not just good chocolate chip cookies. Also, PBR is totally optional if you, like myself and my grandmother, like to get a little sauced up while you're cooking. So the first trick is when we put the butter in, which is the first thing we're going to do, is that we use half butter and half margarine. So that's 8 tablespoons of butter, 8 tablespoons of margarine, and you want to let that sit out. I'll just let it sit out for like an hour before I'm going to make the cookies. I want to be able to squeeze it and have it be like really warm and squishy before I put it into the bowl. And then I put it in, all the butter and all the margarine into the large mixing bowl. And they should just fall right out because they are gross and melty. The next step is pretty easy. You just want to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar into the bowl and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And you see when you pour it out, it comes a little clumpy, so you want to make sure as you go, you sort of pack it down so you have exactly 3/4 cup before you put it in. The next thing we do is add 1 tablespoon, or tisp if you will, of vanilla extract. So then what we want to do is take this lovely concoction that we've made and just beat it around for a little bit with your spoon. I mean, it's kind of hard because it's just a lot of butter and sugar, but just mashing it together as best you can, and then we are going to add the eggs. So you only really need to do that for like 2 minutes until it's just kind of like broken up butter mixed with brown and regular sugar, and then we're going to add our eggs one at a time and continue mixing. I am shaking the camera so hard doing this. Basically what you're going to end up with, you only have to do that like real quick, is just like this gloppy goop that doesn't even look like cookie dough. Kind of looks like vomit, just a little bit. So now we're going to make the flour mixture that's going to make this look less like this. And what I'm going to do is put a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder in a small bowl. Flour is one of the most important parts of the recipe. I use a lot of flour, and that's really what makes them what they are, makes them rise. So what I want you to do is to put 2.5 heaping cups of flour into the recipe, right into the bowl. And when I say heaping, I mean like, consider this 1 cup. And then we take all this flour and plop it in and make a huge mess in the process. I just sprayed flour everywhere. Realistically, you probably want to add half first, stir that into the batter, and then add the other half, and then just keep stirring it until you can't really see the flour anymore. And when you mix, you should be folding it in. That's what the term is, where you're just kind of pressing it all down, you know, not just stirring it in a circle, because that doesn't work with cookie dough. So I want to press it down in addition to stirring it around. So, and when you're done making that batter, it should look like this. Like pretty regular cookie dough batter. Now comes my favorite part, because you get to add the goodies. And the goodies meaning you want 1 cup of walnuts and 2 cups of semi-sweet Nestle. I really do prefer Nestle to anything else, and that's not an endorsement. 2 cups of this. And now, of course, we mix it all together. Use that, not only mixing it, but the folding technique as well. And ladies, as long as you just didn't pee on them and you washed them, using your hands is okay. You want to mix it until you have a good ratio of chocolate chips, walnuts, and cookie dough. And then you want to put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes and then check on it, because the consistency of the dough, you want it to be like ice cream that's almost hard to scoop. So my batter's actually been in the freezer for almost 20 minutes, but it was also sitting out for longer than I expected to making this video. And honestly, these cookies, the best way to make them is kind of noticing things and going on your intuition, if that makes any sense. And it's just about perfect right now. It really is just kind of like, if you can just make it into a perfect little ball and it's cold and it's very hard packed, that's exactly what you want. So you want to have your oven set to 375, even if it's old and ancient like mine. And what you want to do now is to do your test cookie. I should come down here. And when you do your test cookie, I know it seems like a lot, but you just bake one cookie and you see how it goes, because that's how you know whether or not you need to add more flour. Like I said, keep your flour out. So you want to take, just like, picture one of those little mini ice cream scoops and just make a perfect little circle, like this size about, and stick it on your trusty cookie sheet and put it in the oven for 9 minutes. And while you wait, put this batter in the fridge to keep it cool. Move it from the freezer to the fridge now. Just follow with me. I swear it's not as hard as it seems. So I've got the first cookie out. This is exactly what we're looking for. You almost want it to look more like a little cupcake top than a cookie. That means that I put enough flour in there that it rose that much. It should really be like about an inch, or if not a little more, with the rise. That's what makes them so good. Let's take them to Katie, who is the ultimate cookie judge, and see what she thinks. Katie, you know my cookie's better than anybody. Taste the test cookie.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yes, when Tanya makes cookies, I eat them in like 3 days.
3 days, try 2 or 1.
Okay, true. It's so fucking good.
So since we got the approval, we are going to do 6 to 9, it really doesn't matter. Balls about this side, kind of like a bloated ping pong ball size. And put them on our cookie sheet. I recommend having 2 cookie sheets, one that cools while you're baking the other, because they're kind of hard to take off. You really want to let them kind of grow and expand, if that makes any sense at all to you. Once again, honestly, it's just easiest if you grab your hands. Some can be a little bigger, some can be a little smaller. It's not a big deal. So this is what my first real sheet of cookies looks like going into the oven. And we are going to put these in for 9 minutes, and then I will check back and explain to you what to do if your cookies are not rising like so. So my first batch just came out and they're perfect. They should almost look like they're not ready to come out, just golden brown on the top, very sensitive to touch, and kind of over, you know, you can see. But let these cool for the 9 minutes that the other ones are baking. I have another cookie sheet over here to put the new batter on. And if they don't look about this consistency, that's when you add a little more flour. And I recommend adding like 1/8 of a cup at a time. Like, keep it really simple, keep it really small, and that's how you get the rise. That's how you get like the decadent thickness, if you will. Does that sound weird, decadent thickness? So now I'm going to do exactly what I did before, and while these are cooling, like I said, I'll fill up the second cookie tray and do another 9 probably for me. Like I said, if you're just starting out, try to do 6 on a tray, because that way you can kind of gauge out if you have too little flour in there or too much. Not that you can really help that. So thus ends the cookie tutorial. Now it's time to enjoy. They should look just about, this is like a pretty perfect one as far as they go. And if you have any questions, just comment below. Otherwise, enjoy the best cookies in the world. The most dank cookies in the world, I think.